I just want to share something that's been coming up for me as everything that's been going on in my life and in my business, and some new stuff. Like there's going to be a lot of activity here on my page. And so I want to share with you what's coming up, what I'm doing, because I want to give out of the abundance of my heart. And so here's what's going to go down. So I want to just kind of share what's been coming up. A lot of accolades for us making the Inc. 5000 list. And I keep saying it's a big freaking deal, but most of the people that I've talked to who have made the Inc. 5000 list for the first time in this industry are usually somewhere around the 900 mark. If they're hitting for the first time. Our first time on the list, we're number 310, which is a big freaking deal. And so today I got a message from somebody in my inbox who said they hit the Inc. 5000 2 years in a row, 3 years ago, and they understand what it takes to make that happen. And again, they were somewhere around 900. There's only one other coaching and consulting company ahead of us. So we're the number 2 fastest growing coaching and consulting company in America right now. And it's taken a while for it to settle in. But with all of that, like so much has happened over the last 3 to 4 months. Like I've taken my first private jet ride. I've been to Greece and Colombia and done whitewater rafting. I just got back from a cruise with my son. Like there's so much movement and so much going on. I'm just so grateful. And so there's a lot that I want to do in the next few months leading up to the end of the year, just as givebacks and a way to support people. One of the things that's been happening along with all of the congratulations, which I haven't had a chance to like comment personally to every single person, and I probably won't because there's so many and so many different posts, but people have been coming to me and sharing with me, people have been on this journey with me for a long time, that everything that you said would come true, everything that you dreamed about, that we talked about when you were at that live event with me, the things that you set out to do in your business has all come true. And I've been going back in journals and just sitting with myself and realizing that that's a fact, that it's true. And how did that happen? Yeah, I rolled my sleeves up and I got to work. Some days it feels surreal. It does. I know still, even still, because people will ask and comment. They'll look at me and go, so you run a multi-million-dollar business? And I'm like, absolutely, I do. It is true. And my wish and my prayer for you is that you look back in a month, in a year, in 10 years, because it's been 10 years for me, a little over 10 years. And you're able to say to yourself, I did that. Like, yeah, I did everything I said I was going to do. And here's the truth. In order for you to be able to do it, whatever it is, maybe it's your first million, I don't know. For me, for a long time, it was my first 6 figures, right? Whatever that is, it's going to take courage. I saw a post from one of my clients today who, when she'd come to me, she had just done her first 6 figures in a year. And then within the next quarter, she did 6 figures in a quarter. And then like before that celebration was over, it was like 6 figures in 30 days. And then it was like a 6-figure day. And it all happened within like a 4 to 5 month period of time. And one of the statements she made is that no one told me that it was going to trigger stuff that's inside of me. Like once you start making a lot of money and you start hitting those goals, old wounds get open and things start coming up. And that's the process that I actually hold my clients through. It's the process of understanding that old you will try to pull you back down to where you used to be. And so even in this moment where I am super celebrating Inc. 5000, I'm having to calm down the little girl who grew up in South Central LA in the projects and say, it's all good. We're going to be okay. It's not going anywhere. It's nowhere up but from here. And really trying to calm my nervous system down because we are moving at breakneck speed here. And so I want you to know that the growth that you seek is going to require courage. Every single freaking time that I have done something unusually amazing and something amazing has happened in my life, I've broke through my own glass ceiling, it was always preceded by me taking drastic, courageous action. It was a requirement. I always say Every next level will demand a different you. It's not going to politely ask. It's not a maybe you can still be who you are today and step into the you that you desire to be in the future. It will demand a different you. And that takes courage. Every single time I have stepped up and stepped up and stepped up, I've always been required to have a conversation with fear and tell it to sit down, shut the heck up, and take several seats in the way back. It has never been a comfortable process, but it has always been worth it. Again, there are many of you who have watched me on this journey, some knowing the journey that I was on, and some of you had no freaking idea who I was being in the world, but you've watched and you've seen me grow. What was required? It required me to expand my leadership of self, to be integrity with my own evolution and my own journey, to tell the truth along the way, because there was a time where I would lie to myself and lie to other people about where I was in life and in business, because the truth hurt. Because by then I thought I should be here by now. And some of you may be experiencing that. To tell the truth takes courage. To be truthful with yourself, it takes courage. It takes courage to calibrate to your next level of power. It takes courage to elevate your standards and say, I will only allow myself to operate at this level, to experience things at this level, to be surrounded by people at this level, whether it's clients, friends, family, it doesn't matter. To elevate your standards takes courage. It takes courage to trust yourself when you're placing all bets on yourself, when you're investing in another program after the last one didn't work, when you're trying to sell to another client when the last one told you no. Trusting yourself to make the decisions that you know deep down in your soul and your heart are for you, that takes courage. It takes courage to take a seat at a table where you feel like you don't belong, or better yet, it takes courage to create your own. And I've had to do both. I've had to create my own table and take a seat in a place where I'm like, what am I doing here? That takes courage. And most people are unwilling to do it. It takes courage to play a bigger game in life and in business. See, safety says, do what you've always done and it'll work out somehow. But when you want to change the game, playing a bigger game is not doing what you've always done. It's going to require you to pull down on your courage, and most people don't have the courage to play at that level, which is why only 2% of women business owners ever cross $1 million in their business. And most of those people don't ever do it again. And I think that number has shrunk down to 1.7. And only 6% of all businesses ever cross $1 million in business, total, men and women. It's a small percentage. And I'm looking to turn that on its head. It takes courage to walk in deeper and deeper levels of transparency. I've been very transparent in my journey, and I'm even looking to be a little more transparent, which is an announcement that I want to make today. But I want to just kind of call you in, because it makes no sense to me that we're looking at 2% of women and 6% of all businesses who ever create $1 million businesses, when $1 million is like the starting point for you being able to scale and grow a business. When I see people saying they're trying to scale to 6 figures, I'm like, there's no such thing as scaling to 6 figures. My philosophy is this: 6 figures is literally like minimum wage for business owners. And you'll know this because if you ever hit 6 figures and you thought that was going to be your holy grail, you realize very quickly it's not a lot of money. You realize it very, very quickly. And even at the place that I am now with, being at a few $1 million, running a multiple $1 million business, I realize I have a baby business. When I'm out negotiating contracts and I'm out negotiating for hotel spaces, I have a baby business. It's a reality check on what's possible and what can be created, right? And in order for me to do that, it requires me to, it takes courage. Getting here took courage. Getting where I'm trying to go, it's going to take even greater levels of courage. And here's the thing. When you look at my evolution of life and my evolution of business, my journey does not make logical sense to the rational mind. Some of you are probably still trying to look and dissect my business model and figure out, how the heck is she doing this? Because I know this, it defies all rules. It defies all the laws. It's out of all of the boxes that people try to put you in. And that is purposeful. I have been collapsing time again and again and again, right? A few years ago, 3 years ago, we did $1 million year. We crossed $1 million in 6 months time. Right after that, we did $1 million in a month. The very next year, I did $1 million in a day. Like, again and again and again, defying all the odds. It takes courage to do anything, to do things that you've never done before, to say things that you never said before. It takes courage to invest in higher and higher levels of support. That has been scary for me every single time. I am just wrapping up, I will be wrapping up in October, a program that I've been in, which was my first six-figure investment. I did that for 2 years straight. The first year I did it, I crossed $1 million in revenue. Now, I'm not saying tit for tat, money in and money out. We talk about this a lot in church with tithing, right? It's not like, oh, you give God this much money and then, tenfold it exactly comes back. But what I know is it raised the bar for me in so many different areas. And I was surrounded by people who were doing millions of dollars in a month or in a day. And so it expanded my horizons to what was possible for me very quickly, which is why I was able to do what I'm able to do. And I'm here to tell you this: your journey will not be any different. I took a lot of risk. Last week, I was recounting with tears in my eyes my stories of attending live events and not having money to feed myself. And I'm going to try not to cry now because my life is very different today. I remember going to a couple of events and I would always upgrade to VIP. Not because I was necessarily a VIP, because I knew that with VIP, lunch came with it. It was $197 to upgrade, and I would always do it. So I would always upgrade to VIP. One time I went to go work an event and it was way in Florida. I had enough money to buy my plane ticket there. I thought I had enough money to pay for my room. I also thought I would be paid for working that event before I left. That was not the case. So when I arrived, luckily I had VIP, so I was able to eat lunch. But when I tried to swipe my credit card for my room, there was not enough money to book my room for the entire time that I was supposed to be there. And I was like, okay, God, you're going to have to help me work this out. And so they said, here's what we're going to do, because you came all the way here from California. We're just going to swipe it for this night. They swiped it. That night worked. Some way, somehow, I don't remember the entire story. I sold something. And by the time the event was over, by the time it was time for it to the next day to come, the next time for them to swipe my card, it was able to go through. So I had a place to stay. But I want to tell you this: I was willing to sleep on a couch in the hotel somewhere if I had to. I had a place to stay. What I didn't have was money to eat. So there was one night after the event was over. I had had lunch that day because it was part of the event, but I think it was the next day that I was going to be flying home, and I was hungry that night, and all the cash was gone because it had all gone to the room. And I remember going downstairs. Okay, I am probably going to cry. I remember going downstairs into the kitchen area, and they had there was a breakfast area that was closed, but they had like crackers out, little packages of peanut butter, and probably some packages of jelly. And I remember like being embarrassed, but like grabbing a couple of those and going up to my room, sitting there, and I snapped a picture of it. I was using a BlackBerry at the time, or an old iPhone, so I don't still have the picture, but I knew it was a pivotal moment for me. And I remember sitting on my bed and calling my husband and saying, here's what I'm doing. And I know one day I'm going to be telling this story. And last week or 2 weeks ago, when I was sitting in that room recounting the story, the tears began to flow because I knew then that it wouldn't always be that way. However, I was always willing to take the risk. And I run into so many entrepreneurs who aren't where they want to be, and they keep starting over and starting over and starting over because the belief is that somehow it's not going to require anything of you. That is not true. My life is incredible today. I was looking through pictures for something, and I looked at just the past 5 months, and I'm like, damn. Like, you're the girl who used to be a latchkey kid who used to open her door, and my mom had set off bombs. We had roaches. We lived with roaches, and I was like trying to like get past them without crunching over like hundreds of them everywhere. That's you. You're the same girl who got pregnant at 16, and everybody thought like Before, you were going to be incredible. And after that, like your whole life was over. And that's a whole nother story. I spent a lot of time trying to prove people wrong, and that didn't serve me well either. Wherever you are today, where you're trying to go is an inevitability. It is going to occur. You have to call on your courage to do things you have not done. Again, to say things you have yet to say, to step into and unlock levels of potential and leadership within yourself that scare the hell out of you. Who I am today that is able to hold the types of clients I serve, really brilliant, badass clients. Some of the people you guys follow are my clients, right? These are people who are leaders of leaders. That is who I serve. There was a point in my life where I was unable and unwilling to serve people who operated on that level because it scared me. That took courage. Here's what I want to tell you today. And then I want to give you all a few opportunities that are coming up very shortly for you within my community to learn from me. Some free, some paid, some very small investments, some a little larger, but I want to give them all to you today. There's a lot of people that I've met over the past few weeks and months, and people who have been watching for a long time who've been looking for an opportunity to jump into. And so I want to give you all these spaces today. But I want to leave you with this thought. When it comes to shifting the trajectory of your life, your family's wealth code, because my wealth code was smaller than it is now. I've shifted that. What my kids get to experience is not what I got to experience as a child. And what their children will get to experience is not what they got to experience as a child. We have shifted something. If you want to shift your family's wealth code, using your business as the catalyst and the vehicle for you to create $1 million dynasty, you must lean into what I'm going to share with you right now. It's just one simple sentence. One simple sentence. I want you to like take it in. If you are not willing to lose, you are not ready to win. If you're not willing to lose, you're not ready to win. I have a friend that always says, you cannot negotiate something that you are unwilling to lose. The moment you go in thinking, I might lose, you've already lost. You're going to stay exactly where you are. And so I want to invite you to take more risk in your business and in your life and bet on yourself in ways that you've been unwilling to before. That is where the breakthrough lies. Not in safety, not in all your plans. It's in the risk, right? If you've watched me, heard me speak live, you hear me talk about my courage experiences, there's a reason why I went whitewater rafting in the Colombian rainforest and I can't swim. That is a thread that I have been following for the past decade that has changed my life. Every year, I do something crazy. Not because I'm a thrill seeker, but because I understand how it's tied to the evolution of me. So here are the opportunities that I want to give you. First one, in a few months, in November, we're going to be kicking off my live annual business training event, Game On. Game On is one of the most powerful containers I have ever created. It still will be virtual this year, but if you've ever attended and you know anything about me and virtual events, I wanted to make sure my virtual event was akin to you being in the room live. In fact, one year, a lady told me, I was in your event and we were talking and I leaned over to talk to the person next to me and I realized, oh shoot, I'm here by myself. I'm at my own house. So it's not just you like sitting in front of a computer and a Zoom camera. It's very interactive. We have lots of things that we've created because I wasn't going to do a virtual event without, I know what it means to be in a room with people. And I wanted to recreate that experience. So that is what we've done. And so I want to invite you to join us to that. But before I do that, and I want to share with you, the Game On Live is not like any other event. It's called Game On for a reason, right? I have a philosophy about how you play the game of life, and life is a game, right? And you always win at the game that you're playing. Question is, what game are you playing? Because you're going to win at it, right? And we'll talk about that at Game On Live. It's about you stepping into your next level of a revenue, of leadership, of womanhood, manhood, all of those things, but not just being able to access it, because some people access it, but they can't maintain it, which is why the majority of people who cross $1 million never do it again. We're in our third $1 million year. And I'm proud of me. I'm proud of us. I didn't do it by myself. Proud of my team. I'm proud of us. $3rd $1 million year, right? Getting ready to start working on the 4th. Actually, we're working on the 4th now. And so I don't want you to just be able to attain a level of success to taste it and then slide back down again. Game On Live is about you accessing that level of success, not only just having it, but being the type of person, or the person who can actually hold it and grow it to the next level and the next level and the next level. Okay. So 2020 Game On Live is virtual. This 2023. Is that what year we're in? No, 22. 2022 Game On Live is still virtual this year. Next year, we're going back in person. Don't miss the last virtual event. It is going to be absolutely incredible. So I'll come back to that. But I want you to know that an opportunity that I've created leading into this, and then leading out of the celebration of hitting the Inc. 5000 list, having our $3rd $1 million year, like there's so much that's going on that's happened like just in this last quarter. I'm revamping my Facebook group, and we're moving all of my training. So the training I normally do out here with you guys is now going to be only held inside of that group. If you love what I teach here, the case studies that I do where you can get behind the scenes, we're going to be showing all kinds of stuff, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but it's going to be all moved inside of the group. We've changed the name of the group. The group is called Making Millions. I'm calling it Making Millions for entrepreneurs and experts who desire to create their first million in business. Right? So if you want access to all of what I'm going to be sharing, you want to be there. And I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. One, I want to add a greater layer of transparency, right? I share a lot out here, but even inside of there, I'm going to be pulling back the curtains and sharing a little bit more. And I'll tell you a little bit about what I'm going to be doing beside of there. But I want you to know what it really takes to run a multi-million-dollar business. And even more than that, I want you to know that it doesn't take as much as you believe. It takes work. Like I work hard, right? But it gets to be easy, and it gets to be in flow, and it gets to be how you desire it to look. And so I want to show you what it takes and give you a behind the scenes look at that with my team and with myself, with my clients, so that you can see all of those things and that it shows you the possibility for you. It doesn't have to look like anybody else's. And so having it behind that veil gives me a more opportunity to be a little more open with what I share with you, right? I want to share with you what works versus what doesn't work when it comes to playing big in business. I want to give you the keys to how to create your own $1 million dynasty and let you see exactly what we do and how we do it. And finally, the reason why I'm doing it is because what I know that I know that I know, no matter how brilliant and smart that I was when I was putting my head down and trying to figure this all out on my own, I was making progress, but not nearly as much progress as I desired. No one climbs the $1 million mountain alone. You just don't. And so inside of this community, and if you have talked to any clients or anybody who's been in community with me, my communities are top notch, second to none. The way we create community, you're going to be surrounded by brilliant, badass business owners who dream big, who believe big, who support each other, who cheer each other on. It is the most powerful, incredible thing. People who are doing things that will absolutely blow your mind. And what happens is it drops a seed of possibility and belief inside of you. So the way that you get to this, because this system was acting crazy, it wouldn't allow me to do it. If you actually go to powerplayerslive.com, I'm going to type it right now. Playerslive.com. I don't know if you'll be able to click this, but that is the website. But if you go to powerplayerslive.com, it'll take you straight to the group. straight to the group. When you get to the group, it's going to ask you 3 questions. Here's the deal. I only play with top-notch people. If you don't answer all 3 questions, we won't let you in. This group is for experienced entrepreneurs and experts. If you are not experienced, we won't let you in. So you have to have clients already to participate. Otherwise, it goes right over your head and it diminishes the experience for everybody when there's people who are out of sorts that aren't there. You don't have to be at $1 million in your business, but you already need to have clients and have something that you've sold. The belief that you can sell a thing already has to be there. So you must be in business with clients already, supporting clients and making money supporting clients already to participate in this group. So answer the 3 questions. My team will look at it. If you qualify, they will let you in. If you don't answer all 3 questions, they won't let you in. It's just that simple and that easy. This is how we play together, right? So if you go to powerplayerslive.com, it'll take you directly to the Making Millions Facebook group. I'm excited to support you when you come inside of there. It's going to be all new material that we're putting in there and really just taking you on this journey of seeing what happens behind the scenes of $1 million business and how you can start to create one too. Even if you haven't made your first 6 figures yet. What I believe, which is why the group used to be called the 100K Slay, is that once you understand how to make 6 figures, it's just a matter of learning how to collapse time around it and doing it faster and faster and faster. That is the 100K Slay. That is how you end up creating $1 million business, by starting where you are. Okay. So that group is open. You go to powerplayerslive.com. One of the things we're going to be doing inside of that group, you're going to be seeing behind the scenes conversations with my team with all kinds of things. Like sometimes it can be legal things that come up, how we handle default payments. A lot of people don't know this and don't have this in place, but we actually have a collections department, not someone that calls you to collect, but like once accounts go so far behind, we send people to collection. So just sharing with you how that process works, how we set it up, how much grace we give clients before we go to that point, because we're running a business, right? I want to teach you how to put your CEO hat on. You're going to hear about how I work through and move through my own limiting beliefs and fears and navigate the uncertainty of growing my own business, of growing a team while growing from a 7-figure business into an 8-figure business, right? How I get myself focused and intentional and get myself in the zone around my own power player state of mind, how I get myself into a power player state of mind. I'm going to be sharing that stuff. What I ask my own mentors when I use my own private mentorship programs that help me to take it to the next level. Because I think understanding how to ask questions of the mentors that support you is one of the lost arts that people don't have. We're asking people who have done incredible things. They're at a level that we desire to be at. We're asking them simple questions like how to do X, Y, Z, instead of getting into the mind of them or allowing them to get into your mind and share with you what they see. And so I will share with you how to ask better questions by sharing with you how I ask the questions of my own mentors that have allowed me to keep collapsing time and growing and growing and growing. We'll give you walkthroughs through how we create content, our sales strategies, how we're beginning to grow our audiences more and up our visibility. So all of those things will be happening inside of the group. And it's just going to be really powerful for me. I want you to know what it takes to build a multi 6 and 7-figure business. And like I said, the biggest thing I want you to know is that it doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to work 60, 40 hours a week to make it happen. You just have to be intentional and be clear about what you desire to create. I'm going to be taking you through a series, which is the first thing that I'm going to do inside of the group. I'm going to take you through the $1 Million Mistake series. And the $1 Million Mistake series, I'm going to be knocking down all the myths that people have about what it takes to build a $1 million business and showing you what you actually should be focused on and could be focused on that can get you there so much faster. That is going to kick off next week. And I'm super excited about that. In that series, I'm going to be bringing in clients, my friends who have $1 million businesses, and we're just going to be telling you the truth about what it takes to build this thing and what it takes to keep this thing. And then also opening the doors for myself and sharing with you each one of those myths and how you can apply them to your own business. But you'll only be able to see it inside of the $1 Million Facebook group. So again, powerplayerslive.com. Okay, here is my final announcement, and then I am going to end this for the day, and that is for Game On Live. So the doors are officially open to Game On Live. I'm doing something that's only going to last for the next 24 hours. So at 12 o'clock Pacific time, 12:30, actually, let me see what time it is right now. I'll give you at 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock Pacific time, do not type this in chat because it's not going to work. Okay. Tickets to Game On Live. It's a 3-day intensive training is $1,297. Okay. What I am going to do is if you type Game On and you want to see to Game On Live. Now, again, this is in celebration of me hitting the Inc. 5000 list and all the incredible things that are happening. And every time I do stuff like this, everybody thinks I'm crazy, but it's my give back because I don't have any low cost programs. It's a minimum of, I don't even know what it is right now, $5,000, $7,500 to work with me right now. That's the minimum you can invest to be in any of my programs. And so this is the way that I give back. So if you type Game On in the comments of this video, someone from my team or myself will message you with a secret discount code that for the next 24 hours, it is currently, because this is going to be recorded, Tuesday, September 6th. So Wednesday, September 7th at 1 o'clock p.m., you won't be able to do this, okay? We will send you the secret code when you type Game On, and you will be able to come to Game On Live event for just $197. Now, I told you I'm going to be doing stuff all throughout the year. So I'll have other opportunities for you to save on your Game On Live tickets all the way leading up to probably October in the event, but it won't be this low. Okay. This is like banana brains crazy. $197 for all 3 days of money-making strategy that I'm going to give you on building your $1 million business at Game On Live, plus the mindset stuff that we're going to do. That's going to guarantee that when you walk through those doors at Game On Live, virtually, of course, you will not leave the same. The same person. You're going to be a different leader. You're going to access a different level of power, and you're going to access a community that's going to help catapult you into your next level of whatever's next for you. Greatness, power, authority, money, mindset, all of those things. I am so grateful to all of you who watch, who have been with me on this journey, who have been celebrating me over the weeks as I've been posting about the Inc. 5000. The gala is coming up in October, so there's still more to come of that. That's when I actually get presented my Inc. 5000 award. And I still am like mind blown that we're number 310. Like out of all the businesses in America, we are the 310th fastest growing business. But out of all the people who applied and 5,000 only made it, we are number 310. We could have been number 4,999, but we're number 310. And that's a big freaking deal. So thank you for celebrating with me. I honor you. I appreciate you so much. I do not take it for granted, and I do not take it lightly that we are on this journey together. And even that you allow me to speak into your life like this. All right, guys, I'm going to take off. I'll see you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for watching my show, my channel. Here's what I want you to do. If you really love what you've been listening to, I want you to subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment. No, really, leave a comment. Like right now. I'm not going to stop talking until you leave a comment. Seriously.